Welcome back to KTN Prime. Now, a majority of members of parliament were today forced to switch off their phones to avoid thousands of phone calls from Kenyans after their personal numbers were leaked online. The leak is part of an online campaign that seeks to force the MPs to reject the Finance Bill 2024 through constant phone calls and text messages ahead of the bill's debate in the National Assembly next week. And as KTN's David Muthoka reports, the leak came on a day when Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u presented budget estimates for the upcoming financial year before Parliament that are the highest ever at 4 trillion shillings.
Even at the time of going on air, more phone numbers belonging to leaders and especially members of parliament were being leaked on the X platform by a user identified as Amerix. The online leak under the hashtag #RespectMyHustle coincides with the reading of budget estimates for the upcoming financial year by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u at the floor of the National Assembly on Thursday afternoon. According to some members of parliament whose personal numbers are now public, Kenyans have been sending them money to confirm if the numbers are truly theirs, then calling and texting them consistently to ask them to reject the Finance Bill 2024. Most members of parliament have since resorted to switching off their phones or blocking all numbers after receiving over 5,000 phone calls and thousands of text messages. The MPs, mainly from the majority Kenya Kwanza side, have however said that despite the phone calls, the finance bill cannot be dropped, only proposals that have been met with backlash.
I see some social media riots. People sending us vulgar messages and telling us you must reject the finance bill. I want to tell them, we are not going to reject the finance bill because we must fund government. But you're going to reject contentious clauses. Clauses about the bread are debatable. If we can't reject some of the clauses entirely, then we have to seek a way to reduce part of the proposals.
You know, Kenyans, when they hear finance bill, they don't want even to know what is inside the finance bill. They just want to say, just reject it. And that's what has been trending today. People have been on our inboxes, on our messages, on our emails, kindly reject the finance bill. But why are we rejecting the finance bill? So those are the conversations we're going to have.
Opposition MPs present at the budget reading promised to introduce amendments to rejected proposals such as the excise tax on bread, the eco-levy on diapers and sanitary pads, as well as the motor vehicle circulation tax.
Me as a member of parliament will say we will not accept new taxes. We better remain with what we have now and a cut on wastages, corruption and duplication of services. That would be a better way to save for this government without adding more burden and hurting Kenyans who are already feeling the heat and the pinch due to the punitive 2023 Finance Act.
You want to tax a country that is unemployed, a country that its GDP is not realistic, a country without road network infrastructure improved, a country that is not healthy. There are no drugs in the hospital, there are not increased healthcare facilities given. The governors are always threatening, demonstrating, the nurses are out on the street, our JSS are sacked, yet we're talking of a 4 trillion budget. We are just joking.
It is now up to their majority counterparts who also have not only promised to introduce their amendments, but also promised to throw their weight behind amendments from their opposition counterparts that seek to do away with controversial proposals.
With the Finance Bill 2024 debate set to intensify in the coming days and weeks, Kenyans will be waiting with bated breath to see whether their representatives, the members of parliament, will walk the talk and drop some of the proposals that have caused uproar. David Muthoka, KTN News at the Parliament Building.